Red Guardian's final sacrifice for Yelena. David Harbour's Red Guardian is the first major casualty of Avengers Doomsday according to multiple insider leaks. Alexei Shostakov spent his whole life telling people he was Russia's answer to Captain America. Spent his time in prison bragging about fights with Steve Rogers that never actually happened. Spent Thunderbolts trying to be a real father to Yelena Belova. The leak says all of that pays off in his death scene. Red Guardian dies protecting Yelena from Doom in the opening Thunderbolts confrontation, the sacrifice that finally proves he was the Soviet super soldier he always claimed to be. Marvel does this every Avengers film. Take a beloved character, give them one final hero moment, then end them. The setup makes sense for the larger narrative. Yelena is one of the central emotional anchors of the multiverse saga. Her loss in Hawkeye over her sister Natasha defined the character. Red Guardian became the father figure that helped her heal. Now Marvel takes him away. Yelena loses another family member. The grief drives her into the deeper conflict of the film. The leak suggests her arc across Doomsday is the search for someone to blame for Alexei's death. That search leads her to confront Doom himself by the third act. Florence Pugh is reportedly given more screen time than her cast position suggests. The Red Guardian death is what unlocks her arc. David Harbour's character had 2 films in the MCU, Black Widow and Thunderbolts. Doomsday becomes his third and final appearance. Sacrificing himself for his daughter is exactly the ending Alexei Shostakov earned. U.S. agent dies as Captain America. Wyatt Russell's John Walker takes the second major death in the Thunderbolts decimation. The character has been one of the most divisive in the MCU since his debut in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He got the shield, he used it to behead a flag smasher in public, the government stripped him of the title. He spent 2 seasons of TV and 1 Thunderbolts film trying to claw his way back into legitimacy. The leak says Doomsday is where he finally earns it, by dying. The exact circumstances of Walker's death have not been fully detailed in the leaks, but the framing is clear. He dies trying to prove he was worthy of the Captain America title all along. The death is reportedly a dark mirror of Steve Rogers' arc. Steve gets his happy ending and his return as the bearded warrior. Walker gets the ending nobody wanted for him. He goes out swinging at Doom in a desperate attempt to demonstrate the heroism he never managed to show consistently before. The leak hints that his last moments include him reaching for the original shield, the one Sam Wilson now carries, the one that was taken from Walker years ago. Whether he gets to hold it again before he dies is unclear, but the symbolism would be unmistakable. The Captain America who failed gets to die as Captain America in his final moment. Wyatt Russell has been one of the better actors in the MCU's recent run. His exit is reportedly one of the more thoughtful death scenes in the film. The Walker arc finally finds its conclusion. Ghost trapped between dimensions forever. Hannah John Kamen's Ghost completes the Thunderbolts trinity of early deaths. The character has been around since Ant-Man and the Wasp in 2018. Ava Starr has the ability to phase through any solid matter. She is technically unkillable by conventional means. Bullets pass through her, blades miss her, energy attacks scatter around her. The leak says Doom solves the problem in a way no other villain could. He uses his green magic to neutralize her quantum powers mid-phase. She becomes locked between dimensions, stuck in the moment of transition between solid and unsolid. Then Doom collapses the reality she is phasing through. Ghost dies in a way that should not be physically possible. The visual is reportedly one of the most striking effect shots in the film, Ava's body flickering between dimensions as the magic around her becomes solid, her phasing becoming a cage rather than an escape. The leak frames the death as Doom, demonstrating that nobody is safe from him. No power, no ability, no trick of physics matters. When sorcery and technology combine the way Doom can combine them. Ghost was always meant to be the impossible-to-kill character. Marvel gave Doom the kill anyway. The death is reportedly a deliberate signal to the audience. If Ghost is dead, anybody is dead. Anything goes from this point in the film. The Thunderbolts are gone within the first act. Yelena alone survives. The film clears the deck of half its main cast before the larger battle even begins. Doomsday is not playing safe. Hannah John Kamen joins the growing list of MCU casualties. Shuri's Black Panther falls to Doom's magic. Letitia writes Shuri falls during the Wakandan section of the film. The leak places her death at a moment of confrontation with Doom directly. Shuri has been carrying the Black Panther mantle since Wakanda Forever. Her relationship with the role has always been complicated. She accepted the suit because her brother died and her mother fell. She never wanted it. She took it anyway. Doomsday is reportedly where the burden finally costs her everything. The leak suggests Shuri's vibranium tech proves useless against Doom's magic. The Wakandan science that has been the heart of Black Panther for years cannot match what Doom brings to the fight. The most powerful tech-based hero in the MCU dies in front of M'Baku. Winston Duke is reportedly given a major emotional reaction shot to Shuri's death. M'Baku has been there for the Wakandan royal family since T'Challa's introduction. He helped Shuri become Black Panther. Now he loses her too. The implications for Wakanda going forward are significant. Letitia Wright has been at the center of the MCU's African storyline since 2016. Her death creates a leadership vacuum nobody can easily fill. Some leaks suggest the throne and the Black Panther mantle passed to T'Challa's son. Others suggest M'Baku takes both. Whichever route Marvel chooses, the Wakanda Forever era ends at Doomsday. The leak frames Shuri's death as one of the more brutal kills in the film. Doom does not just defeat her. He humiliates her, strips the suit, proves the vibranium was never enough. The Wakandan technological supremacy gets dismantled in a single scene. If you're loving these breakdowns, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. We've got more coming. Let's keep going. Nightcrawler cannot teleport away. Alan Cumming finally returns to play Nightcrawler in Avengers Doomsday after 23 years away from the role. Then the leaks say he dies. Marvel brings the actor back from one of his most iconic performances, only to kill the character in his comeback film. The cruelty of the storytelling decision is on purpose. Nightcrawler's death is reportedly one of the most emotionally devastating moments in the entire X-Men contingent of Doomsday. His teleportation ability has always been his survival skill. He moves before the threat reaches him. He gets away. He is supposed to be one of the hardest mutants to kill on the entire X-Men roster. The leak says Doom solves it the way he solved Ghost, through magic. Doom uses his sorcery to anchor Nightcrawler in place. Kurt cannot teleport. His powers are bound by the green magic. Then Doom kills him in front of Mystique. Rebecca Romijn's Raven loses her son. The mother-son storyline between Mystique and Nightcrawler has been hinted at across the Fox films, but never fully explored. Doomsday reportedly pays it off in the worst possible way. Mystique watches her son die, unable to save him. The leak frames the moment as a deliberate setup for Mystique's arc later in the film. She becomes increasingly unhinged after Kurt's death, goes from reluctant ally to vengeance seeker. The Shang-Chi and Nightcrawler team-up that fans loved from the leaked X-Mansion footage is reportedly one of the last good moments Kurt gets before Doom catches him. He gets to fight alongside heroes from a universe he was never supposed to meet. Then, he dies. Loki dies at the World Tree throne. Tom Hiddleston's Loki has been sitting at the throne of the World Tree since the end of Loki, Season 2 in 2023, holding the multiverse together, acting as the literal load-bearing god of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The leak says Doom finds him there and kills him. The death is positioned as the inciting incident that fully collapses the multiverse barriers. Loki has been the last thing keeping the realities separated. With him gone, the incursions accelerate. Doom's plan goes from theoretical to immediate. The god of stories dies, and the stories begin to collide. Tom Hiddleston has been with the MCU since Thor in 2011. 15 years of the character, multiple films, 2 seasons of television, the longest-running villain turned hero in the franchise. The leak frames his death as the most poetic loss in Doomsday. Loki spent his whole arc trying to find his purpose, found it at the World Tree. Then Doom takes it from him in his moment of complete fulfillment. The death scene is reportedly heavy with visual symbolism. Loki on the throne, the branches of the multiverse around him, Doom approaching with his green magic, the god of stories ending a story he can no longer tell. Hiddleston's last appearance in the role pays off everything that came before. He is no longer the trickster, no longer the villain. He is the keeper of all reality, and he dies trying to hold it together. The narrative implication for Secret Wars is massive. Without Loki, the multiverse cannot be repaired the same way. Doomsday's biggest casualty is not a hero. It is the Keeper himself, Professor X's final exit at the X-Mansion. Patrick Stewart's Professor Xavier falls inside the X-Mansion. He watched the incursion approach from his window. The character has been central to X-Men cinema since 2000. Stewart took over the role in the original film and has played him across multiple timelines, multiple reboots, and multiple eras. The leak says Doomsday is his final exit. Doom enters the X-Mansion. Charles Xavier confronts him. The most powerful telepath on Earth tries to read Doom's mind. The leak suggests Doom tears into Xavier's mind first. Mental warfare on a level Charles has never experienced. Then Doom finishes him physically. The Doctor Strange-style mystical combat overlap with telepathic combat creates a unique death scene. The death echoes the Logan-era tragedy of Charles Xavier. James Mangold's 2017 film gave Stewart one of the most heartbreaking deaths in superhero cinema. Doomsday reportedly returns to that emotional well. Charles Xavier dies inside the school he built, surrounded by the legacy he created. The leak suggests his last words are addressed to Magneto rather than the heroes around him. The bond between Xavier and Eric Lehnsherr has always been the emotional spine of X-Men cinema. Doomsday gives it one final scene. Bucky sacrifices himself for Sam and Steve. The biggest emotional death of Avengers Doomsday belongs to Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes. The character has been in the MCU since Captain America: The First Avenger in 2011. 15 years. 7 films. 1 Disney Plus series. The Winter Soldier arc, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier arc, Thunderbolts. Bucky has been there for almost the entire MCU run. The leak says Doomsday is where it ends. The death reportedly comes during the climactic battle against Doom. Bucky sacrifices himself to give Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers a clear shot at reaching Doom. The Winter Soldier finally gets the ending Sebastian Stan has been hinting at for years in interviews. The setup is the most emotionally loaded of any death in the film. Sam Wilson is the new Captain America. Bucky was Steve's best friend. The original Cap returns from his time travel retirement for this final fight. The leak suggests all three are in the same scene when Bucky dies. The old Cap, the new Cap, the Winter Soldier. The last members of the original Captain America trilogy together for one final moment. Then Bucky goes down protecting the two of them. Sebastian Stan has been one of the most consistent actors in the MCU. His arc across the franchise has been about finding redemption after the Winter Soldier era. Doomsday gives him that redemption in the form of the heroic death he was denied in the comics. The leak frames the scene as the official end of an era. The MCU after Doomsday will have lost Bucky, Loki, Professor X, Shuri, the entire Thunderbolts roster, and Nightcrawler. Doom's body count is staggering, but Bucky is the one that hurts the most.